What's up guys, Nightingale here, and welcome back to another Beginner's Handbook video. Today we're covering, well, actually updating the Arena Shop Guide video. Well, I wouldn't even say it's an update, it's just a addition to. The last time I made this video, it was July of last year. So we had the Ambition season still going on. So we've had 2 seasons now worth of gear show up. And I want to cover that just to help you guys out because some of it's actually kind of grossly OP. No joke. All right, so let's go in and check it out. So for anything that is not these 2 seasons, please refer to the other guide, which I will put in the comment, or not in the comments, but in the description below. So let's go into the shop and check out the new stuff. Now, I don't want to do this all the time, so that's why I'm going to let some of these seasons go on. So the next one might be towards the end of the year. Once we get another season or 2 past, we'll kind of keep these updated because I want to keep you guys informed on what's good and what's really bad, what could be a decent roll. So first off, we're going to skip over the current season and we're going to jump right down here to Conviction. So Conviction was the pen set, which was really, really, really good for a lot of newer players. Now, obviously, it was a better deal while it was current and live, but for those of you who are just now starting and looking towards the future, here we go. There's actually a lot of really cool stuff in here, depending on who and what you're wanting to build. So we're going to cover this just like we did the other one from top to bottom. All right, so the sword is actually not bad. Actually, there isn't a bad stat on here, and this is actually totally a worth buy. I don't remember the exact phrasings we were using, but overall, I can tell you that this is near max rolled, and other than the HP and the attack is near, and speed is near max rolled. This is an overall great sword. I just need to get around to buying it. I will have this eventually on my account. Totally worth buying. Maybe let's hope for the speed roll. Okay, now the helm, another really great piece. The helm is really, really, really good as well. Now this one can go a couple different ways for you. If you end up hitting the crit chance and attack stat more, great, you've got a more offensive one. If you hit the HP and defense, you've got a more defensive one. This can be rolled and be manipulated depending on what you're doing. So hopefully you get better rolls on this, and also a very, very high quality piece, near max rolled, other than the crit chance that is max rolled. All right, now the boots. The boots are a little bit suspicious. Still good, but a little bit suspicious because you got to think about what's going to be using attack percent and then defense, crit chance, speed, ER. Now, I am personally becoming more and more of a fan of ER to a point, depending on what we're doing, but I almost think ER needs to be done purposefully. In this case, you're almost hoping that you hit any of the top 3 and then just roll the ER off because it's lacking crit damage is really what this thing needs. This needs to be crit damage so that you can get the big numbers. I mean, this is like something like an LQC boot or just somebody who needs defense, speed, and attack. If you wanted to use this on a recent unit we've got, which is Ha Young, if you can get those 2 stats out of it and want to do it at absolutely no speed, I don't know why you would, but I'm just giving like an example. Potentially this could work, or I think LQC is probably the better one. But at this point, I would be hoping for crit chance is my only role here. I think I'd want to go into maybe the speed. Bulk is great, but I think with offensive boots, when you're going like this, you're really looking for just straight. You're looking for just straight crit chance, crit damage, and attack percent, or in this case. We've already got that up there. So another thing that to talk about with this boot is this could also help you guys eventually with your one-shots. If you definitely get lucky in the crit chance department here, this could definitely be a boot to help you along with one-shots because a lot of your one-shot units do end up needing attack percent boots. Okay, here's a weird-ish piece. But it's not as weird as you think. There are HP scaling bruisers out there who actually could use this. And this literally screams a Ravi piece. So if you have Apocalypse Ravi, you're looking at a really, really good piece. Now, the only thing that's a little bit off on this one is the effectiveness. When I see effectiveness on pieces like this, I instantly know where my stats are going. To that lovely plus 30, plus 40 effectiveness roll. And everything there that's actually important, we're not going to touch. It's really sad. But in this case, things like Alencia, you could use this on Aravi, you could use it on, let's see here, who else has got HP? You could technically, oh no, you couldn't use it on her. Darn, my brain's going dead all of a sudden on all the HP bruisers that I have. I have a bunch of them too. But I'm like, it's, they start thinking, okay, they got AoE, they've got AoE, they've got AoE. I mean, even Alencia has AoE, but I'm more thinking for the S1, S2 combo. It's kind of nasty. But overall, still, if you have an HP-based bruiser, or if you've got some really weird tech where, in instance of a single target DPS that you need bulk on, and you're not going super, and you may have other stats worked out, this could work as well, because I don't know how this is going to roll for you. But overall, it's a good piece. Just know that this is more for HP bulk, and I probably wouldn't come here first unless you really know what you're after. Now, as you can see, there are 2 bought out pieces. Yes, I bought these out during the actual season. So, in your order may be slightly different because of the pieces are missing. But as far as this, the chest plate is really good. I got really lucky on this one. This one rolled, I think, like defense ones. I mean, I can pull this up. I know where this is sitting. This rolled speed and I think defense. I don't think I got anything else. So I think I ended up with like 14, 15 speed, something like that on this piece. So it was one of my faster chest pieces, and I wasn't mad, but I was a little mad. I was kind of hoping for the crit damage roll. Didn't get it. And then probably one of my most disgusting rolls that I got out of it was the necklace. I ended up with 21 crit chance, and this sits on my Apocalypse Ravi right now. Both of these pieces are absolute must-sends, in my opinion. Although the ER is the only thing tragic here on this piece, just like here, there's nothing wrong on this piece. This is a full send. Pray it goes well. It's a really, really good piece. So yeah, the ER is the only thing you want to dodge here. If you dodge it or you hit it once, you can totally roll that to speed, and you won't care. This is a great necklace to have. Okay, so now let's jump to the current season, which is Resolution. So Resolution just recently started not too long ago. So this is going to be active for a bit in the game. So I don't know where you guys are coming in at, but this is going to be here for a while. Now, Resolution is injury. So for those of you who have Bellions and for some reason still have not built your Bellion on injury, here you go. Just buy this, equip 4 pieces, and win. Okay, not really that easy, but this is definitely a set for her. Who else can use injury? You could do this on SSB. You could do this on, let's see here. Who else would be a terrorist that I don't want to put out there, that I don't want people to build because I don't want to have to deal with it? I was looking at a injury Holiday Euphine. And it was an idea. Honestly, I struggle with injury on where to put it. I'm going to be 100% honest. But I'm looking at, injury Fire Mercedes. That's the other one. Now, that one takes some specific gearing to actually be able to make happen. But honestly, when people think injury, it's instantly to something like SSB or Bellion, which are 2 very prominent options for it. You guys can come up with other options along the way. Great. Okay, so let's talk about the sword. The sword is great. There is nothing wrong with the sword whatsoever. It's the usual thing. They give it the exact same stats across the board on everything. In this case, this is an 88. If you're going to do this, this is a great sword to buy. As far as the chest plate, the ER come on this one is a little bit weird. But depending on what this rolls into, if you end up getting all HP and speed rolls, there's nothing wrong with that either. This chest isn't bad. I just don't think this is the best option out of this set. Now, the helm made up for where the chest failed. By moving the stats around, they brought it here, and this is a great helm. If you really wanted an awesome bruisery injury helm, this is definitely the place to look at. And if you only need one or the other stat, you could look at rolling it off to attack percent if it's low enough. There's not really anything, there's no rule saying you can't, but I'd probably leave this helm alone and plus 15 it and see how it goes. It's really, really, really good. I think so far that's the VIP of it. Then we come down here to the speed boot, which is actually really good for the game. Not everything has speed boots, which is great. So this could be used as an offset, especially if you want to risk it. Not going to tell every new player to do this, but in this chance, you've got crit chance, crit damage, defense, and effectiveness. In theory, for those early units that you're building, you can't miss a stat here and not enjoy this. Because what does most of your units need besides... Okay, so we're going to get into the crit chance issue here because we're not going to be on a complete crit set. It would have to be a broken set. But this would be a piece if you were needing a little bit of crit chance and you want to swing it for the defense or the effectiveness and the crit damage for, say, earlier Wyvern team. This could potentially be it, especially if you're trying to speed up a unit. But, I mean, I think for an injury boot, this is really cool. This is actually kind of hard to get because it's speed with basically great stats. The necklace is also another insane necklace. And this one's actually better, in my opinion, than the pen set as far as stats on the set. Because we had ER on the other one, this one doesn't. So you can't go wrong on this injury neck. So your injury Bellions are definitely going to be hitting hard if you decide to go in this. Or SSBs. This set is going to make some things very scary. I'm very nervous to see what's going to happen. And then last but not least, another really interesting good piece, depending on where you're going. Again, this is going to be designed for more of a bruiser-based unit, which is cool. The ER is the only thing that you have to look at. Again, if you're not building ER with purpose, ER's a dead stat. When you're going in specifically trying to build purposeful ER stuff, any ER you can get is great. But for a set like this, and for probably the units you're going to be going on, without 100 ER, which none of this should actually end up with 100 ER, what's the point? Other than to mess around with some really light debuffers, like an RB who has maybe 8 effectiveness from a bad roll. Or something like that. That's the type of stuff you'd be resisting with this low ER rolls. But overall, it's a great set. I would probably look at buying this if I wasn't farming Katie's. Or if I get into a position later on where I farmed up a piece that kind of rolled bad and I would rather see what this would roll, I'd come and buy this. But I'm not just going to go outright and start just buying these pieces on my own. So I said I would show you quickly a couple of those pieces on how mine rolled. Again, everybody's mileage is different, so please understand that. So if we go to penetration right here, we've got the pen, which rolled for me 14 defense. So I got 1 roll into the defense and everything else rolled into, well, 1 rolled crit chance and 1 rolled. So I got 1 roll in defense, 1 roll in crit chance, and then everything else rolled into speed in some shape, form, or another. As you can see, it's on my Malim right here, and this has been bouncing around between many of my different units, and depending on who it goes on, it's just because of the 14 speed, this doesn't really find a home permanently, but this definitely found a home for her for now. And then my Apocalypse Ravi is home to this necklace. As you can see, I rolled defense % onto this instead of the ER, just because it was all the ER on her. It was it. There was no other ER baked into her kit at the time, so I just said, screw it, defense %, let's go. And 21% crit chance is really, really nice. Really helped out with building her. So this is definitely, I would say, one of those must-sends. Totally awesome. So that's going to cover that. As far as, again, I should just go ahead and state, just for the video, the things that you always need to buy before you touch any gear is make sure your Molagora is bought weekly. And before you buy a single piece of gear, you need to buy your slate for the season. Now, some of you are probably going, but I have so many slates already. Keep buying them. These imprint anything that is limited, or when you have special units that you really like, that you really want to use their imprint, you can use one of these to unlock it and help out, whether it be the team imprint or the concentration imprint, so the self imprint. These can be really vital for that in rare situations. I don't say go pop this on every RGB that you possibly own or anything like that, but the slates are definitely valuable and they're typically reserved for limited units, or I've seen some people do it for their Moonlight units, but I would say save it for limited units. And that's what I'm doing. I've got 5 now, and next season's slate, I'm going to start spending onto somebody random because I can triple S any unit I want at this point. All right, so make sure you buy your slate first. Make sure you're always buying your Molagora. And don't buy the frame. The frames are dumb. It's a waste of these. Let these convert over. Seriously. And then energy. Well, I do it during hunt buffs. I don't buy this all the time because I'd rather the currency be used to going towards pieces of gear as I need it. That's really how I operate this. So if you guys have any questions about the new updated arena gear, also just remember the other video starts here at Ambition and goes down. Just to put that in there one more time. So if you got any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. I will try to help you guys out and help you make wise decisions here on your purchasing power of awesome arena gear that's probably going to troll you because that's the typical thing of arena gear anyway. It never rolls what you want it to roll, but it ends up being good somewhere else down the road. And I'll try to help you guys out as best as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.